Hi, welcome to How to Waist Hoop Properly. I'm Lee Little, hoop fitness and nutrition coach. In this short video, you're going to learn how to waist hoop properly to really start firing off your core. The first thing that we're going to do is correct your posture so that you're in a good position to learn hooping. A lot of times what happens is we start to round the shoulders and we start looking down at the hoop before we ever start. So what I'm going to have you do is take one shoulder, move it forward, roll it up and ratchet it back. And we're going to take the other shoulder, move it forward, roll it back, and that's really going to open up your chest so that you have good posture to begin hooping. The next thing we're going to do is take our hoop and we're going to place it on the small of our back. And you want to hold the hoop so it's level, not tilted right, not tilted left. And you want to keep your arms close into your body. The farther out your arms go, the harder it is that you're going to have control when you start to spin the hoop. So keep those arms nice and tucked. Your chest is lifted and you're looking straight out. I don't want you looking down at your hoop right now. You're just going to look straight out. And we're going to take one foot and put it in front of the other. And it really doesn't matter what foot you start with. This is just going to be the foot that's most comfortable for you. So we have one foot in front of the other. Our chest is lifted. We've got our hoop in nice and tight. And you want to keep your knees soft. You don't want to lock your knees, so keep them nice and soft. And the first thing that we're going to do is learn how to start the spin, because that's where a lot of beginner hooping goes wrong, is starting that spin. So to start the spin, all I want you to do is take your hoop and you're going to push it in toward your tummy. You want the hoop to actually make contact with your tummy before you ever start moving. So we're going to do that, and we're just going to let the hoop rotate a few times, get the feel of that, and even let your hoop drop. Because as you learn to waist hoop, your hoop is going to drop, and that's perfectly fine and perfectly normal. So we're going to take the hoop, we're going to spin it in toward the belly button. You'll notice that the hoop continues to spin without me making any movements. It continues to rotate. So let's try that one more time. Chest is lifted, you're looking straight out. You've got the hoop tucked in nice and close. We're going to give it a spin in toward the belly button and just let it rotate. Okay, the next step that we need to think about is as the hoop makes contact with our body, we're now going to start this body rocking forward and backward. So as the hoop makes contact with your tummy, you're going to push forward. As it makes contact with the small of your back, you're going to slightly push backward with your back. So it's a forward back in a straight line. So I want you to think about you're making a straight line this way with your pushing as your hoop is spinning around your body. So we've got our knees are nice and soft, our chest is lifted, you're looking straight out, your elbows are tucked in. We're going to give the hoop a spin. We're going to let it rotate a couple of times, and then we're going to start our forward and back body rocking. Here we go. Pushing in toward the tummy and forward, back, pushing. Push, 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 push. I would keep your arms out to the side as you start this because it's going to help you keep your chest nice and lifted and open. Now, once you get the hang of that, what we're going to do is I'm going to have you switch feet so that you can get the feel for it with a right foot in front and your left foot in front. Same thing, we've got chest lifted, elbows are in tight. We're still spinning the hoop in the same direction, but now we have the opposite foot in front. Give your hoop a spin, let it rotate a couple of times, and then start that body rocking forward and backward in a nice straight line. Okay, the next thing that I'm going to have you do is you're going to start with one foot in front of the other, but I want you to really start trying to rotate your hoop in the opposite direction. There's one direction that's going to feel more natural, more comfortable for you, and that's probably where you're going to spend the majority of your time. But I just want you to think, as you start to really work your core and you're spinning the hoop on one side, we really need to work the muscles on the opposite side. And so it is important to spend time, equal time if you can, in both directions. So same thing, we've got one foot in front of the other. We've got our chest lifted, but we're going to push the hoop in the opposite direction. So you're pushing the hoop in the opposite direction. You're still pushing front and back from that core. Looking out, arms out to the side, and a nice front-back motion. When you have practiced this, what I'd like you to do is go ahead and switch your feet and try that again. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to talk about pushing from side to side. We just learned how to push from front to back, but there is another way that you can continue rotating your hoop, and that's pushing from right to left. So instead of moving in a forward line pushing, we're now pushing side to side, and your hips are those push points. My feet are in neutral position for this. Everything else stays the same though. Chest is lifted, you're looking straight out. We've got a nice close grip on the hoop. We're going to push in toward the belly button, but now we're pushing side to side in very gentle movements. So right hip and left hip are your new push points for that hoop. Arms can be out to the side. If you feel like your posture is on point, your chest is lifted and your arms get tired, you can go ahead and cross them in front of your chest. And just practice pushing from right to left. Now, same thing applies here. We want to practice both directions with your hoop so that we're not creating any muscle imbalances. So in your neutral stance, you're going to grab your hoop. You're going to push it in toward the small of your back, but you're pushing in the opposite direction. Those push points don't change though. Still right and left hoop. The hoop's just spinning in a different direction. Great. So practice that for about 10 minutes a day on both of the stances, both right foot, left foot. Change your hoop direction. Practice it in your neutral stance with your right and left hips as your push points, so you're pushing side to side, and change the direction. And in the next video series, we're going to talk about the 5 most common mistakes that beginners make, and we'll show you how to correct them quickly so that you can maximize your core activation. We'll see you on the next video.